All right. Hey guys, welcome to a very special webinar here today. I am Jason, and we are very lucky to be joined by Goran, who is from Flippa, who I am a huge fan of, and actually going to show something, Goran, that you're not aware of from about 10 plus years ago about some work that we did with Flippa. But in today's presentation, we want to talk about, everyone talks about starting a website and starting a directory or starting a project. But in this special webinar, we want to talk about exiting and how to think about exiting and profiting from exiting, whether it's a small profit or a huge payday at the end of the day for all the work that you've put in to one project, or better yet, launching multiple projects at the same time. But before we dive into all that, we do have some guests joining us from the Flippa side, and we have some guests joining us from the Brilliant Directory side. Let me just introduce us one more time for those of you joining. And if you have questions along the way, please feel free to type them into the comments. We're going to have plenty of time for a Q&A session today. But I just want to officially welcome Goran, who is the M&A advisor for Flippa. Goran, thank you for co-hosting this webinar here with us today.
Thank you, Jason. It's very exciting for me. I think many guests here don't know that we've been actually collaborating for years now through my API business, which I'll mention briefly when I get the chance to introduce myself better. But yeah, it's very exciting to be here and talk about starting and selling a directory business.
Absolutely. It's great to have you. And yes, we have had a relationship for quite some time. Brilliant Directories has used your amazing services. So yeah, definitely useful if you can touch on that in just a little bit. So yeah, in today's webinar, we want to share with you kind of how to create a sellable asset out of your from your directory or from any website. To be honest, this benefits any website owner. But you know, we're going to talk about a little bit how Brilliant Directories can help you with the creation part and how Flippa can help you with the exit part. So we'll dive right into it. I don't want to do too much wordy explanation. I think a lot of people are already familiar with Brilliant Directories, but if you're not, we'll just breeze through some slides. Effectively, in my opinion, what Brilliant Directory is a content creation machine. Yes, it is for membership websites. Yes, it's for directory websites, but really it's just a tool to generate your own content, user-generated content, and build that value of the domain asset very, very quickly. So yes, you can, as you see on the screen, have membership websites where they have profiles, they can interact with each other, they can pay to have a membership on your site if you have a specialized type of site. So effectively, what is Brilliant Directories? Well, on the surface, again, it's a directory and membership platform, great for communities, content hubs, association, organizations, clubs, whatever it might be. But really, the secret sauce behind BD is it is an asset creation machine. And a lot of marketers, entrepreneurs, domain flippers, they all use Brilliant Directories. So let's talk a little bit about that content creation machine. So user-generated content, that's effectively what social media is. People are creating content. So while it's not a formal social media platform, it does work for having the profiles of the members who join your site on their own, or you might import listings to your site, businesses to your site. They can capture reviews. So just like a Yelp or a Yellow Pages, consumers can leave reviews. That is good content. And you can allow your members to post content similar to LinkedIn, how people can share updates or create articles, events, coupons, and you can also contribute to that too. And also there's a monetization aspect, which is going to be a big driving factor if you're ever trying to sell a domain or a site, but it is not compulsory to have revenue. You can sell your domain through Flippa. I'm going to show examples of it pre-revenue. So keep that in mind as well. So with Brilliant Directories, it's really about creating value for your domain. You can buy domains all day long. You can go to GoDaddy Network Solutions and buy really good juicy domains, but what adds value to them, and you can have them in the domain auctions, but what adds value is when you connect it to a website and it looks seasoned, established. It's seated in Google. It's ranking in Google. It has some light traffic, hopefully growing steadily over time. And BD can help you kind of take it to a new level very, very quickly, and adding value to that digital asset, your domain. It's like buying land and putting a nice building on it like Monopoly and giving it more value. So let's talk about the 4-step plan experts use. So like I said, start with a domain, buy something catchy, buy something that is keyword rich, people can understand it right away. You connect it to BD, submit it to Google, add some content with BD's easy content creation tools. And the step 4 is activate BD's value levers: SEO, user-generated content, revenue tools. You can now build content with AI, and it does an amazing job. And you don't just do it for one site. You know, BD has bundles for multi-site packages, and the reason is you don't need to put all your eggs in one basket with one passion project. That's how we used to be. That's how I used to be. And I realized if I have an idea for a project and I understand the system, BD, or I kind of just have some valid ideas in other industries, I can launch 3 or 4 at the same time. And that way, again, I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket. I don't just have one passion project. And now I have 4 website properties I can nurture and grow, and then hopefully exit one by one in the near future. So let's talk about SEO and brilliant directories. BD is built for Google. Schema markup is built in. That's good for AI SEO right now also. The speed scores start insane. They're 90 plus. There's clean architecture. Like I said, it's a content creation machine. So you can have a channel of content for your member listings, the member reviews, the blog articles, the events. Everything is organized, and you can clone different things and just turn your BD site into a content creation machine, which is great for SEO and also helping attract traffic over time, which is one of the KPIs and metrics that we're going to track today when we talk about exiting your website. Lever number 2, as I mentioned, the speed. So BD sites are fast. We start you right at the top, 97, 98%. And the reason is we know over time sites will eventually slow down because people are adding live chatbots, JavaScript tracking. So we know that eventually, not in a bad way, but things are going to weigh down that page speed score. So we want to start you up at the highest level possible. And again, there's no maintenance with BD. You just connect your domain and just start figuring out how you want to add content and making the site look appealing to consumers, potential buyers, potential members that want to join your site. Really, you can just start getting to work right away and don't worry about any technical headaches. And again, as I mentioned, it's an infinite content engine. You have different channels of content, all optimized for SEO. And everything you create, you can also share on social media, drive backlinks to your site, and more. One of my favorite things to do with content creation on Brilliant Directories is if we have business listings, is write a blog article about 5 of the top doctors in a certain area. And that's a best of list, like a listicle. That is great social media content. You get to highlight some of your members. They're going to share that article because they've been now featured on your site. And you just create this high perceived value of edifying businesses on your site, sharing content, and you create this really positive ecosystem where your site becomes a hub for the niche or industry that you're trying to target, and it can happen very quickly. All right, and as I mentioned, BD is just full of convenience. You can use AI to generate posts, like blog posts, web pages if you're trying to create landing pages, and even newsletters. So newsletters are built into Brilliant Directories. So if you have your community, you don't have to use a third-party emailing tool. You can email your community right from your Brilliant Directories platform. All right, lever number 4, and then I think we're going to pass it over to Goran here, but really it is about recurring revenue, and that is it's not compulsory or required if you're going to exit or sell your site or project, but it does help tremendously because you can put a multiplier on revenue. And with Brilliant Directories, there are multiple monetization tools built in to the platform. These are just a few that we're mentioning here, but definitely the member subscriptions, the recurring annually or monthly. So you just have to make your site compelling enough where people want to pull out their wallet and actually pay for that visibility or that access to your site and into your community. Also, lead gen. The first thing Brilliant Directories was created for was a marketplace of professionals like interior designers, architects, home service professionals, and the consumer leads. We would use Google, PPC, and we would arbitrage. You know, it cost us about $10 to get a consumer lead, and we'd sell that lead for $10 4 times to the professionals. We'd sell it to 4 professionals, so we would have a net of $30, and we would just do that in different industries. But lead gen is a huge part of the Brilliant Directories platform. So if you're driving consumer traffic to your site, they want to get connected with the professionals in a business directory type of setting, you can sell those leads to your the members listed in your network. And then there are more, but I'll just leave it at digital products. You can sell anything, any intangible product or service on BD. They're not subscriptions, they're one-off purchases. They can also be on recurring models. So it can be for SEO services. If you want to sell banner ad placement on your site, you can charge someone for that banner ad slot. Whatever your imagination can come up with, selling ebooks, access to protected pages on your site. The list goes on. So revenue and building recurring revenue on BD are turnkey. All you have to do is come up with some catchy products that you can offer to your visitors and your community. And that goes to the monetization that we just mentioned here. All right, so just a recap here. So connect your domain. This is the value building blueprint. Submit your site to Google. Here is a faux pas and an error a lot of people fall into. I'm not going to connect my domain until my site is 100% ready. And Goran's going to verify this, I promise you. You want to get your site connected to Google as quickly as possible because there's something called the Google Sandbox. And this is a 3 to 6 month period where Google is kind of figuring out if your site is trustworthy, if it's valuable, meaningful, before they start showing you in the SERPs, in the search engine ranking positions in their index. So you want to connect your domain as quickly as possible, even if it's just your homepage. Put some SEO content on your homepage. We've talked about this in previous webinars. You can use ChatGPT, put rich SEO content. We're coming soon. Put a lead capture form there, but submit it to Google as quickly as possible. The second thing is with Brilliant Directories, you can quickly populate your site, not just with the AI generation tools for pages and posts, but you can actually hook up instant business data to your site. We'll show that in a little bit, but you can, if you're a doctor directory in Texas, you can import doctor listings and actually make your site look like it's been online for 10 years, which to a potential buyer, that's going to be priceless. It's going to make your site look fantastic. So seed it with listings, publish AI content, allow members to contribute to your site as well. Turn on some of the activation, the monetization levers, and then track your KPI. And again, the best way to do this is not with one website, but launch several of the similar types of websites in different industries and niches. So you guys know what you're an expert in. And then why buyers will buy your site. You're going to have that SEO footprint because, again, you're going to have that content and your domain is going to be connected to Google hopefully as soon as possible. The content velocity with the user-generated content, members are going to update their listings. They want to feature things about their business. And then monetization proves the concept. So BD works in the real world. It's not just hyperbole of what it can do. And today, we just want to mention, if you're watching and not a BD user, you can get a free trial of Brilliant Directories. Just head on over to brilliantdirectories.com/trial. We'll pop a link in the comments for you as well. And again, I went a little quickly. I said a lot. If you have questions, type them into the comments. We're going to have plenty of time for Q&A session today. And with that, the man of the hour and our special guest and co-host, I'll pass it over to Goran. I'll save it for the end. Actually, I wanted to share our previous Flippa history, but I'll pass things over to you, Goran, and you can just let me know when to sift through the slides as you continue.
Yeah, thank you. And I was going to ask you what's the big surprise, and but I had kind of a. I'm not shocked that this happened because I found out through talking with various successful entrepreneurs. So, for example, one of the co-founders of DigitalOcean, the cloud provider, sold the business on Flippa. It was a small website before. Obviously, he co-founded DigitalOcean. So a lot of that going on. Flippa is the largest platform to buy and sell digital businesses. But before we get into that, just a quick introduction about me. I imagine that the viewers already read the quick description I wrote here. So I'm in 20 years in entrepreneurship, and back in 2013, I started a venture capital backed startup that I ran from Silicon Valley, and this is how I met. Matt, your co-founder, and how I was introduced to Brilliant Directories. This was, I think, close to 10 years ago when you started using our APIs. And so when I joined Flippa, obviously I remembered you guys, and I thought, well, I saw that some of the Flippa users were selling Brilliant Directories, and I reached out to you in an effort to kind of connect the two worlds where entrepreneurs start to build a business with your company and then sell it on Flippa. So I saw the connection there. Can you switch to the next slide, please? So as I said, Flippa is the number one platform in terms of volume, and then we believe that at Flippa we are ideal from when you want to sell a business from $10,000 up to $10 million. So that's kind of where we land in our M&A world. Next slide, please. And then what differentiates Flippa from other marketplaces or brokerage companies that we are both expert certified advisor. We have a group of advisors which I am a part of, and then we also have the technology, the marketplace, the website, the marketplace component where users can kind of self-service and attempt to sell a website or a business by themselves without the expert without the expert help. Right now, we are also improving our AI system that helps connect buyers and sellers, that helps entrepreneurs find potential buyers, and also helps investors find businesses to acquire. So we are kind of at the forefront of the AI technology, which kind of merges and connects buyers and sellers.
I do want to say, I do want to chime in for one moment. One thing that I love about Flippa is because we've sold sites on other platforms, and I don't know the right word to say, but it just felt like shady. But with Flippa, I feel like I'm in a trusted platform. There's actual like support if you get stuck, and you feel like things are going to go smoothly, and you're not going to, again, get into pitfalls that you would in other platforms. Everything is really nicely organized and as on the up and up as possible on the buyer and the seller side. So one of the reasons I love Flippa is exactly that.
Yeah, and thank you for saying that. And it's not it's not an accident, I would say. So when I bought my first website on Flippa, it was back in 2012, so almost 13 nearly 14 years ago. And I can tell you from my experience, both as a buyer and seller on Flippa before joining as an M&A advisor on Flippa, I can tell you that Flippa has advanced what's the word I'm looking for?
Leaps and bounds. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, not just through technology and the growing expert certified advisors, but on the front of just double checking everything in terms of the shady and the problems that occur with any platform, really. If you look at Uber or Airbnb and any double-sided marketplace, you'll get that. Maybe next slide, please. And so unlike myself, who has been an entrepreneur for 20 years, my colleagues come from reputable companies and they're accredited. So if some of your viewers and Brilliant Directory entrepreneurs would like to work with me, but they're kind of concerned due to the time zone difference. I'm right now in Europe. I will be traveling to California early next year, but if they want to work with a broker or an M&A advisor from the US, we have obviously an office in Austin, Texas, and I can connect them with a broker from the US. But I can tell you right now, it's really no trouble for me to accommodate clients from the US and vice versa. And I've seen that some of the brilliant directories that are being sold on Flippa are from Australia as well. So I do imagine that it's a global audience.
Some people, they just want to sell their site for a low figure. They spun it up real quickly, and it looks like it's been seasoned, and they're trying to get like 2,500 or 5,000 or some whatever amount they could fetch for it. At what point do you need to use a broker? At what level of the asking price?
Yeah, great question. You can switch to the next slide as well.
All right.
So just to answer your question directly, so typically we recommend the broker on the 6 figures and higher. Having said that, we do have admin help and regular support help that falls into self-service, which typically comes below 6 figures. So you can see on the pricing page on Flippa kind of the threshold that changes, and the success fee also changes. But if you want to kind of do like a quick sell for let's say 1-year-old website with at least some traffic and some potential, then typically you wouldn't hire like an M&A advisor. But having said that, you can always ask me any questions, and then I can kind of connect you with the appropriate team member, and then you can take it from there. Having said that, so this is our sell side process, and it's really the same even if your website is making, let's say, $100 per month, or if it's making $100,000 per month. The process is really similar. We do the evaluation, the preparation and onboarding, creating the listing. Obviously, if you are selling a small website and you're in self-service, you're going to have to write the listing yourself and upload photos and things like that, like connect Google Analytics. But if you have like an M&A advisor, then this person will do it for you. And then also the difference in finding the buyer. In self-service, you're kind of left to yourself, and to use the thousands of actually the hundreds of thousands of Flippa users and kind of present them your opportunity. Whereas where you have an M&A advisor, then this person will do it for you. And then next step would be transaction and payment. So once the Q&A rehearsal and the discussion with the buyer has completed, you receive a letter of intent. That's the LOI acronym here, and you agree to sell the business for a sum, or the website, whatever the asset is that you're selling. Then the due diligence is in process, and then the transaction, essentially the buyer wires the money to Flippa. Flippa holds the funds until the seller releases the domain name, the website, the access to brilliant directories and other assets. Having said that, maybe I have. So yeah, if for smaller amounts, let's say if the seller is more familiar with escrow.com, they can do the payment through that service provider as well.
Right, but even if it's a large or small, generally the process is overall the same, just on a smaller scale when the asking price is much lower.
Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
I've sold websites for 5 figures on Flippa, and then as a broker, I've sold for 6 figures. And I told you privately, like right now, I'm working on a 7-figure deal. The mechanics are really, really similar. It's just kind of upping the ante, Speaking of buyers and buyer liquidity, so obviously we do have experienced investors, large investors with a large budget to acquire serious businesses, but also we have a lot of entrepreneurs, serial entrepreneurs, or just people looking for a side business or a side gig, or kind of try some passion to kind of monetize it. And then obviously, I think I have a book here. It's smarter to kind of acquire the business than growing from zero. So if on your end, from an entrepreneurial perspective, you can start a business that would appeal to somebody who doesn't want necessarily to invest the time and the energy, but to kind of jumpstart the process. If you pick the right niche, um, the right avenue, then that could be like a good exit for you, but a nice start for somebody else.
That's well said. I think that's exactly the point for a lot of people, or some people, they're just tired and they want to move on to a new project. So yeah, well said there.
Absolutely, yeah. And this is more about the higher echelon of the investors, the strategic buyers that we have at Flippa. Sometimes people misconceive Flippa with, oh, I'll just sell a domain name on Flippa, but we do have buyers with a budget up to $100 million and then looking for serious businesses with serious revenue. So that's also available at Flippa. Next slide, please. So really quickly, we're going to talk about the multiples, because every time that an entrepreneur wants to exit a business, they are interested how much money they could get for it. And it's both art and science, and our science here is backed by some real data. And you can switch to the next slide as well. So the data that we provide is not, I didn't sit behind the table and wear a tie and a suit and kind of came up with the multiple. These are the multiples that have happened on the Flippa platform during the past few years. And these are like real deals with real investors that happened on the platform. So right away, you can see kind of the ebbs and flows and the changes that happen through the years. So many things play into this factor into this, like macroeconomics, and also if the deal is an average deal or a top decile deal, like if it's a more attractive company that's doing really well or has MRR or returning customers or doing business globally, or if there's like one client that's bringing in 60% of the revenue, so it's vastly different, the quality of business that impacts the profit multiple, which we cannot see from the data presented here.
Got it. And just a question here. I noticed that the average is this blue bar here. Is this multiple? You already touched on it, but it's not only based on revenue. There's other factors that go into the valuing the company and what multiplier they would put on it. Or is this strictly revenue here?
Absolutely. So this is for the profit multiple. Okay. And the average business for the profit multiple, and then top decile is like a higher quality business. This is just like a quick way for sellers to see what they can expect on average when they're selling the business. And this changes over time, as you can see here, but also it changes as the quality of the business is different. So, for example, we don't see here the age of the business. It's not the same if the business is 1 year old or 10 years. So we do not see that, but it has to fall under a certain profit multiple.
Right. As one of the metrics for calculating the price. Got it.
Yeah. And so this is the following few slides are kind of a nice story that depict how you can also think about profit multiples. It's timing plays a role. And with this business, we see like on January 2018, they were, growing up and to the right. Everything was going phenomenal. There's been this tremendous growth. And it's not the same if they decided to sell the business at this point, or if you can go to the next slide. So 2 years into it, we see that the growth has stagnated completely, and we even kind of see a bit of a downward trend. So obviously this is going to spook some buyers and also lower the multiples. Next slide, please. and then we see, okay, this is no longer stagnating business. This is a declining business. Is it like a declining asset? Like, is something potentially damaging happening to the business that's tremendously going to impact the multiples? Even though this is exactly the same business, the mechanics are the same, the domain name is the same, the website is the same. Like, this is the same type of business, but perhaps the macroeconomics have changed, or some part of the business has changed. And then last slide. So you can see the
no.
business,
What
the
happened?
business, the business died. So Google essentially kind of killed the traffic for this business. And if, for example, you list the business on Flippa today, I mean, with the story like, oh yeah, we were doing a lot better 2 and 4 years ago, but that's not something that is going to excite buyers, investors, and it's going to be an uphill battle in kind of getting any kind of multiple for that kind of a story. So it's hard to sell at the top, but that's usually the best day to sell, and that's when the profit multiples are the highest.
Right. I see two things here based on what you're mentioning, and there would be two types of buyers actually. You know, the ones who are willing to take a risk earlier, and they'll factor that into their price, or the ones who are very literal and tracking the business and want longevity before they make any type of buying decision.
Exactly. I mean, to everything, there's pros and cons. And so it is with this, even if you're looking at it from a buyer's perspective or from a seller's perspective. But I thought that this was an amazing story to share. And it's really, I mean, if we can learn from this, we'll be way better off. We'll go quickly through this because Flippa has a lot of tools and features. I mentioned AI buyer matching, which is increasingly improving as more and more buyers come and more listings come. The AI gets smarter, and the more interaction with potential buyers and sellers, there's this neural network that's kind of connecting the dots and essentially connecting potential buyers and sellers. Next slide, please. So this is one of the biggest pain points when you're selling a website or a business. You have all these data, and Jason, you mentioned this, with potential scamming or with just double checking the facts that the traffic is really there for the website, or revenue if you have like Stripe or PayPal. Flippa makes it easy to kind of connect through the integrations, and then on the listing we have these details live. And you don't have to worry about updating it, because every time a buyer comes to the listing and is considering to buying your website or a business, they'll immediately look at the data. And if it's 3 months old, 6 months old, they'll just close the listing and they won't even look at it. So it's important to have the latest data.
So this goes back to what we were talking about earlier. You want to seed and season your site as quickly as possible. You know, a lot of people are waiting for their site to be perfect, but even starting your traffic early is better than waiting 6 months, because having that longevity in your established domain adds value to the domain, and when you're attempting to sell it. So get your domain connected as quickly as possible, even with just a homepage with some SEO content on it.
Absolutely, and every investor and buyer will agree that any type of age will increase the multiple of selling the business. Moving on to the tools and features that Flippa offers. So we make it really easy to sign any documents within the deal room, which we have developed. You can switch to the next slide, please. It's a better. So in the deal room, you can sign NDAs and non-disclosure agreements, letter of intent to purchase the business, asset purchase agreement. So all that is available within the deal room, and both buyer and seller can sign the documents with a timestamp, and we see when the documents were signed and who kind of created them and shared them. And the buyer and seller can talk through this and negotiate the price within the deal room. If there's an M&A advisor, they can jump in and kind of help with the negotiation and connecting with additional buyers. Yeah, and lastly, you can switch to the next slide. The payment services are also integrated inside the deal room. So essentially, when everything is completed, the buyer has the next step inside the deal room is to kind of complete the payment to Flippa or escrow.com. Having said that, Flippa is more affordable than escrow.com in terms of holding the payments, and it's for us it's much faster because everything is in house, and then it's much easier for me as an advisor to kind of call one of my teammates from the financial team and ask them, has the money arrived, can we release the funds, is it in dollars, is it in euros. So it's much faster and easier to kind of complete the deal.
And I just want to say, this is what I was talking about the other platforms being a little shady and things like that. I have used escrow.com, but it's in conjunction with Flippa behind your back. So you feel a little bit of reassurance that things are going to go smoothly. No one's going to walk away with what you're selling, or you're not going to get your funds. So there really is a lot of, this slide just tells me there's peace of mind with Flippa, which is why I love Flippa also.
This is, I mean, peace of mind has been throughout every step of the way. Our idea is to be with the seller of the business throughout the process until they sell it, and then they receive the funds into their bank account. A couple of case studies we can just quickly go through. A couple of slides. There's so many business, like thousands of businesses that have sold on Flippa. I sold 5 this year, just to give you an idea. So it's a lot, and we connect thousands of potential buyers, and they send a lot of inquiries, and there's a lot of negotiation happening, and sometimes you get into a bidding war between two or more potential buyers. And you can switch to the next slide. It really depends what kind of a business you're selling. Obviously, I try to find the bigger ones that are kind of more community oriented. Whereas on Flippa, you can sell anything or buy anything from a YouTube channel or a software as a service, or obviously a directory business. And you can switch to the next slide.
I had a quick question though.
Okay.
So it says result here, acquired by high net worth for 2.88x adjusted net profit. And I'm seeing here they had an ARR of 1.2 million, but that's not the profit. That's the gross, right?
Yes.
Okay. So 2.8 would be 2.8 multiplier on their net profit for the site.
That's correct.
Expenses. Yes. Got it. Okay. Just so people keep that in mind about the multiplier is it's your net, not your gross revenue.
Yeah. We do have, so on the Flippa website, I can share the URL. There's
sure, you can put them in also the chat here with us. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a ton of insights on this page here, and there you can switch from profit multiples to revenue multiples, and then it's obviously different if it's an e-commerce business or if it's a SaaS business, or if it's a directory business. So the multiples are different. So I found a couple of brilliant directories on Flippa right now. As you can see, like examples from a wedding directory or a beauty and spa in Australia. So we do have some of those. I didn't find any.
Let me break the slide for a second, and let me copy the thing here, and let's actually take a visit to some of these real quick. Sure. Let me just open this up here.
So all 4 of them are, I would say, starter businesses, less than a year old, with a domain name, with some traffic.
That one is not on. That happens. Let's see here.
Yeah, I was checking it today. Maybe I was looking at as an admin. Yeah.
Okay. So you found a BD site for sale here. Okay.
Yep.
So they're asking 7,500. The site is a year old. They're making about 248 per month. The traffic, let's see, about 1,000 views per month. Not horrible actually for a new site. And they have a description here of their site. And how long, let's say, you have a site like this. Can we visit this site? Let's see. Is there a link to visit the property? Yeah, sorry.
So you can scroll up to the title, the Log Home Network, and then there's the link, the blue. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, nothing even fancy. Let's see if they have some listings on here. So they got about 139 listings. And again, Goran made a good point. There are different types of businesses and website property. You might be a SaaS platform and you're reselling your solution. Directory and membership sites, they are more UGC, user-generated content websites, and they're geared towards either traffic or monthly recurring revenue from the members. So again, that's why people start blogs, right? So they can just start getting traffic and make money off the AdSense revenue, the Google AdSense, and then once it reaches a certain point of traffic and AdSense revenue, they're going to go ahead and list it on Flippa. Same thing for the directory website, except you have more options for creating content than just a single blog. So those good. Let's check one more out, and then we can continue here.
Can you check the last one? That was my
the beauty and spa one here.
Yeah.
Okay, let's check it out together. Okay, great. So this site age is 10 years old, so it's been seasoned. I don't see that they've connected much, but let's take a look. The asking is $4.99. That's fine. Let's click on it here. Nice domain, beautyandspas.com.au. Yep, nice simple site. Not too much content, but you're just putting it out there, right? There we go. 7,000. I'm assuming imported listings here. And yeah, we can click on this. Yeah, this looks like imported listings, but how it works. This is one of our older style sites from BD. I can tell because this stock photo here.
Yep.
Now let me show you something. Since we're here, this is what I was going to tell you. We had a
Flippa account.
Yeah, the account. Let me go to my dashboard here, because BD's been around since 2009, 2010, depending on when you're counting. But where can I see my sites that we were selling? And let me go to one. Those are ones that we won. And what we would do is, Flippa was new to us. We didn't know. We were just creating brilliant directories. Here we sold one for 20,000, Interior Design Pro. This was in 2014. But we were doing a lot of text. We just launched a bunch of different directories and put them on Flippa. You can see the names here. Basically any type of profession or any type of service, and we'd flip it. We'd create them and we'd flip them. Nice. And this is where the name Flippa is perfect. But let me go back to the furthest ones. Let's see. Okay, so the oldest ones were July 2014, and yeah, we fetched about $2,500 for these. These were sites we just spun up. They had no traffic, they had no revenue. They just looked, and we imported listings, and it just looked like a good asset, and people jumped on it and they purchased it.
Yeah, so I see finddogtrainers.com, excellent domain name. And also, if I may say, on the data insights page, you can find it here. So it's in the insights, in the main menu, the second option, insights.
The main menu here,
below,
or
right below, meet our brokers, and then the second option is insights.
Right here, insights. Yes.
Yeah. And now you can scroll down, and you can stay here, and this is the data for last 7 days. So what someone can do is kind of browse through the most popular categories, and you can see like travel, pet. That's kind of still, I was going to say that pet was right here, yeah, and still is one of the most.
Well, it's on the list still. Yeah.
Yeah. So there you have it. Like, these are the most sought after categories that potential buyers are looking for.
This is great insight. Yeah, definitely Shopify e-commerce stores, because drop shipping is so huge. So people are just, and then that becomes an SEO game also, right? Who can drive traffic to their Shopify store the best. Yep. So great insights here. So yeah, I just wanted to share that we were selling those, and let me just share this since we're here. Here, the 2025 Brilliant Directories Black Friday deals are going on, and this is why we have like the 10 site pack, or even the 25 website licenses. You don't have to lock yourself into just one passion project. You can spin up multiple ideas, put them out there, and then just seed them and grow them, and just have them on Flippa over time periodically, and maybe you can fetch some return on. I know you can fetch some return on your investments. This example of 25 sites for 5,000, and then let's just quickly. I'm not going to stay on here too long, but if we just go back to what BD was selling sites for, the opened, I mean the where were we? The ones that we won. And if we go to just the last page there, I mean, look at the names here. We just bought any Find a kind of site, Find Top Psychologists, so on and so forth. But you can get any, right here about 2,500 or whatever. And if it actually, this is without revenue, without traffic. So if it actually has those performance indicators that support a good domain also, you can rest assured that there's probably a buyer out there. As Goran mentioned, that Flippa just has so many buyers within their network. It's a great platform.
And to the last slide, and I can kind of complete your sentence there. If somebody does want to list their Brilliant Directory on Flippa today, they can do it for free and get a premium package, which includes more advertising and better position in the Flippa search. So you can scan this QR code or just reach out to me later, and I'll make sure you get it.
Absolutely. Thank you for offering this. This is huge. With any platform where you're buying and selling domains, there are some fees involved, and this is a great offer. So thank you for offering it to the BD community here.
Yeah, my pleasure.
All right, we're going to switch gears for a second. We do see some questions typed in. I'm going to turn my head. I have two screens here, so let's jump in and see what questions we have here. Okay, we have, what would we need to bring in order to buy and or sell? What documents would be needed? This question for you, Goran, here.
Yes, excellent question. So typically we would need a P&L, which we can provide a template. It's a spreadsheet you can open in Google and then kind of list the revenue and the expenses. We would either need you to connect to the integration with the Google Analytics, so we see the website traffic, or provide a PDF with 1 year of traffic to the website. We would need one invoice that you paid just for kind of KYC, know your consumer, and for the onboarding to kind of approve your account, and proof of revenue. So if there is some revenue, if you're making money through Stripe or PayPal or any other way, you can try to connect directly, or you can provide like a PDF that has the numbers and your name on the statement. That would be.
Yep, that's great, and that's also why some of these easier integration tools like your AdSense revenue and your analytics, you can't spoof those. So this just adds a level of transparency.
Exactly, and with that, it increases the degree of potentially selling.
Correct. It's like when you're going for a home mortgage, you can go full doc or stated, and the full doc gets the better interest rate because it's
exactly.
you can't spoof a W. Well, okay. So do you same user? Do you transfer bank info as well? And do you need or help to be licensed business, or can it be bare bone paying or non-paying traffic views? Can you sell YouTubes? Would love courses on this. Thank you.
Yeah, great questions again. So I think I mentioned it. YouTube is the fastest growing category on Flippa at the moment throughout the year. The multiples are lower if you want to buy. If you want to sell, they are selling like hotcakes. So that's definitely.
Let me interrupt you there. When you say selling YouTube, are they selling their YouTube channel, or they have a site with their domain with their YouTube videos on it?
First, they're selling the channel, but it has to be profitable. I mean, it has to make some money. There's kind of requirements to list a YouTube channel.
Okay.
As for so the license business, so it depends if you're selling the business or if you're just selling assets. So if you're selling websites, a website and domain name, then it doesn't have to be like a registered business, and we don't require you to kind of have a business. You can sell the assets, and it's a different document and a different avenue, but it's definitely possible.
Awesome, great. Okay. Feel free to ask some more questions, and let me see how we're doing on time here. Yeah, we have a few more minutes. While you guys are doing that, I want to give a sneak peek as to the new setup wizard that's coming to BD that can help you spin up sites a lot quicker. Let me just go to our dev. This isn't ready just yet, but it's coming out. So when new sites launch with BD, there's going to be a new setup wizard. This is kind of what it's going to look like, and it's going to be with AI. I went to the wrong domain here. It's going to be with AI. So all you have to do is input what you want your directory or membership site to be about. Why don't you give me some obscure industry? We'll see what it comes up with, Goran.
Well, definitely let's go with the pet industry, since we mentioned it already. So let's say it's I don't know, maybe like some dog food type.
Okay. Let's say find pet supplies. We'll do find pet supplies. And you can put more description, but I'll just do find pet supplies. And later what we're going to do is we're going to have starting points so you can quickly choose by industry the type of site that you want to create, and of course refine it later. So AI is just going to
if I may interject just for a second, earlier this year we sold an e-commerce business from Germany that sold pet supplies, and one of their best sellers was raincoat for dogs.
I saw that recently. It was raining here in LA, one of the rare days, and someone had a slicker, a yellow raincoat on their little tiny dog. Yeah.
You would not believe how many people bought those. So yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, this site, I was playing with it a lot. I was spinning up a homepage for solar installers, but the AI is going to generate your BD site from start to finish. And then of course, once the initial site is created, and I'm crossing my fingers, this is going to work well on the webinar because it's still in testing phase. But with the AI generation tools for content and pages, you can quickly create good SEO assets for your site. So this usually takes about 60 seconds. We should be reaching the end of it just in a moment. And then, yeah, that pets, dog walkers, dog trainers, adoption sites, meetups for pet owners to meet up. These are all good types of community sites, and people love to be a part of it. I remember the old Yahoo commercials. Remember those? "Do you Yahoo" was the slogan, and they would talk about different types of meetups back in the day. Okay,
it's an evergreenish, and
right.
I think it shows on the search intent for Flippa.com that it's still very sought after.
So here, it created a logo. This is new for BD. It's going to create a logo for you based on the website name. You're going to have all the main keywords here. Find the best website to find pet supplies. Of course, you can change the focus. It also does the hero image for you. And then, of course, you can go right into the what do you call it? The admin, and start importing business listings. If you were a professional website, so like golf instructors or wedding vendors and things like that. But in just 60 seconds, the shell of your site is created and it's ready for you to get to work. So we're very excited about this new setup wizard coming soon.
Nice.
All right, we got some more questions here. All right, Droid47, I see you list a lot of online stores. Do you allow eBay stores to be listed on Flippa? I know eBay has some caveats with that.
Yeah, so I would compare that to an Etsy. So essentially, you are not allowed to transfer ownership of an Etsy store. I believe it's the same for eBay. So sometimes there's some caveats, as you say, and it really depends on the if you're selling only eBay store, then it's going to be problematic. If you're selling a business that has, like a store, a website, and an eBay store, then it's going to be easier. So it depends. The answer is I know nobody loves the "it depends" answer, but yeah, you can. I think you can list it on Flippa, but then it depends on some of the details.
Okay, good question there. One more question here. Lastly, how does it work when sites are a part of accounts like Go High Level with access being inside where multiple accounts are not for sale?
So I'm not familiar with Go High
Sure. I
Elf.
think I can answer this one actually.
Okay.
So if you're going to sell on Flippa, you need to separate the business and the assets from anything else that are unrelated to that. So I know with Go High Level, it's an agency platform, Goron. So an agency can
Okay.
manage, has sub accounts, which are their local businesses or clients. So you're going to have to figure out how to partition or separate that out of your main agency account because the buyer is not going to want to be pinned to your main agency account under your main agency account forever. So that's just something
Yeah,
to keep in mind there.
yeah, I would agree with what Jason said, and I'll give you another example. So let's say you have a business that has 5 different directories, 5 different websites that are making money, and all this revenue is pouring into the same LLC or company. And then you want to sell only one, but then you have to kind of show the revenue statements and so on. And then you're going to have to separate the proof essentially and kind of showcase to the buyers that you're selling only this one website.
Exactly. Also, I say, how can I figure that out with BD as well? With BD, a lot of agencies spin up sites, and you can it's not like eBay. With BD, you can transfer ownership to another buying party, or if you're leaving the business and you want to give it to your partner 100%, you can just email the BD support team and take care of it that way. All right, Michael's asking, how does a seller assign a value to built out established directories with at least 250 members and also domain name with a concept of the directory, but without content or members? I'll leave that to you, Goran.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a hot potato because it really depends, and it kind of falls into the eye of the beholder, you know. So I'm assuming that it's not making any money at all, and this is the only value that the website has: the 250 members and the domain name and the brilliant directory attached to it. Certainly has some value, but and some potential depending on the industry that the website is in, and potentially some historical, the website has been around for a few years, then again it's worth a bit more. But you would have to list at the price that you're comfortable with, or start an auction and kind of work your way up and introduce the listing and this offer to as many buyers as possible. Um, so yeah, it's a bit of a tough question, and I would have to see more of what's happening in the background and what has happened to give a better advice.
So that question, exactly what that question was, is how we were experimenting with Flippa, more than 10 years ago, where we would just spin up sites. And again, they really didn't have any revenue or value. What we were selling was the dream of it. And that's what the description sold. So if you can set up some people just want to buy a turnkey website, right? They don't want to develop it from scratch. And the magic of BD is it can look like an established site. And all you did, like you saw me do in 1 minute there, is just spin up a site, import listings, add content. If you can garner some recurring revenue from some members, that just is a cherry on top. But revenue is not compulsory. And sometimes on Flippa, you can just sell the dream if things are packaged and described nicely.
Yeah, and as you can see on your screen, the prices were ranging from 997 to
4,000.
4,000, right?
Yeah.
So it's not. So I would give you another piece of information. It's not the same if directory is for hairdressers or let's say surgeons or some aesthetic surgeons or doctors. That directory would probably. Um, fetch a higher multiple because the industry is larger, it's more lucrative, and so on.
Absolutely. Let's see what we wrote in the description here. This website is powered. We just, we bolstered Brilliant Directories. It kind of featured what it was created. So really, we just, we imported some data here that we got, and yeah, someone decided to pay $4,000 for this, and at this point, we had just had it online for less than 30 days or 60 days, and got that for this directory website, Organic Providers. All
Nice.
right. Yeah. So it was a good testing ground to prove the concept is what it was. So, okay, I think, let me see. We got time for one or two more questions here. Samuel, our good friend Samuel, he's in the Facebook group as well. I'm a developer and currently TLY with over 20 directories, I guess working on 20 directory website. It's good that Flippa is part of the team. How can I reactivate my Flippa account that was canceled over 8 years ago? I need to kickstart selling on Flippa.
Typically, you would reach out to support, or you can just reach out to me. Or actually, I'm in the Brilliant Directories Facebook page, so you can message there, and we'll try to sort you out. Sort you out.
Great. Thank you. And one more question here, and then I got an announcement to share as well. Jennifer's asking, sorry if this has already been covered. No worries. What if the main element of the business or site you are selling is with a bespoke AI model? Predominantly, is this owned by the business or the site owner? I'll leave that to you, Goran.
So it really depends on your preference. So it's like deciding if you want to sell the entire LLC or just the website and the domain name and the assets. Similarly to this, it depends what you want to include in the deal. Sometimes sellers want to do 100% exit, and sometimes not. So it really is your preference.
And that goes into the expenses as well. So if you have a bespoke AI model you created and one of your businesses is using it, you can create an expense where just like a Shopify subscription, right, or any platform subscription that might be powering the business, that goes as an expense for that business. And generally, the new owner can expect to have to continue paying those expenses because it's what's propping up the business in general, whether it's a Shopify subscription, a Brilliant Directory subscription, whatever platform it might be. So that was a good question there too.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's see. Yeah, well, Goran, this was a phenomenal. I had a lot of fun with you today.
Thanks. Me too.
And I just want to go to the Facebook group for Brilliant Directories. We do have an iPad giveaway this month. So if you haven't already put your name in the hat, just go to the brilliantdirectories.com/Facebook. Let me find the post here. And we invite everyone watching to join the iPad giveaway. Just find this post here. It's one of the featured posts. And just drop a comment here with the color iPad you'd like if you want to win. And we do have our Black Friday deals coming soon. So reach out to the Brilliant Directories sales team, support team, and get your bundles, 25 website bundles, 10 website bundles. And don't just have one passion project. It is a numbers game, and you can launch multiple projects at the same time and then get them into Flippa. As we see, there's many use cases with the proof of concept for selling both brand new sites and seasoned sites for top dollar. So you can take your family on vacation, you can have some margaritas, have a good day, and just celebrate your wins. So Goran, I just want to thank you again for co-hosting this webinar and all the information you shared. And if you have any final things to add or you want to plug anything, please do.
Well, thank you, Jason. I really enjoyed it as well. Like I said, I'll be on the Facebook page with you guys if anybody wants to reconnect or ask any questions. Yeah, see you on the other side.
Fantastic. And just as something we do here, we're ending our webinars with some of the royalty-free dance pop music provided from the webinar solution here. So on behalf of myself, Goran from Flippa, thanks for joining us. We wish you a great day and a brilliant week. Take care, guys. Thank you, Goran.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.